Good afternoon all and welcome to John Cain Reserve for round 5 of the Victorian Premier League, where it's Northcote City entertaining the undefeated Dandenong Thunder in round 5 of the Victorian Premier League. I'm Simon McCuskey, your commentator for the afternoon, and the Dandenong Thunder with a great chance to extend their lead on top of the table, particularly with South Melbourne faltering on Friday night. Who would have thought an upset against the Southern Stars? And as for North, they're in the middle of the table, and 3 points will propel them into the top 5 for the first time this season. Let's turn our attention to the lineups, and for Northcote, the hosts. In goals, number 22, Chris Theodorides. 2, Adriano Chapetta. 3, Christian Contanides. 5, Bradley Theodore. 8, James Calafatidis. 9, Mios Lucic. 10, Alex Royas. 11, Jonathan Vulgaris. 12, Hayden D'Agostino. 16, Paul Savio. And number 20, Pato Soke. And for the Dandenong Thunder, the visitors. In goal, number 1, Stuart Webster. 3, Andrew Mullett. 5, Brian Brand. 7, Liam Kearney. 8, Matthew Theodore. 9, Vetan Kochadi. 13, Shane Rexepi. 14, Craig Alvin. Number 7, Iqbal Jawadi. And number 19, Daniel Bowen. And both of these teams playing in the Mirabella, what was the cup formerly known as the Mirabella Cup last week, now known as the State Knockout Cup. And both teams favouring different results last week. And Dandenong Thunder nearly had an upset on the cards when they trailed the Peninsula Strikers last week, who scored the first goal, but the Thunder came home with a wet sail and scored 3 straight to defeat the Peninsula Strikers Senior FC by 3-1. Whereas it was a different story for Northcote City in a huge upset. I suppose this is where dreams come true. We saw it with Cobram victory last year. Morwell Pegasus defeated Northcote City by 1-0 last week, and the champions, the reigning Knockout Cup champions, have been knocked out of this competition. So we will have a new team crowned Knockout Cup champion sometime later this season. But we're all ready to go here at Northcote John Cain Memorial Reserve. Northcote currently sitting on 6th position. 2 wins, a draw and a loss, and the Dandenong Thunder, what a result this looks on paper today. Played 4, won 4, lost 0, massive goal difference. And Northcote, John Cain Memorial Reserve has been a fortress for the club ever since they've been promoted, and a huge reason why they're not able to stay up the last 3 years, but stay up and even play finals football, which is a credit to the former coach Peter Tsalakis. And there's a new coach at the helm, obviously Peter Tsalakis, who's made the move to South Melbourne with a few other issues on his plate, particularly with the loss of the Southern Stars. And Goran Mozanovski in charge now. And Mios Lucic, the new number 9 for Northcote, replacing Trent Rickson. Massive shoes to fill. It's a good start for Northcote. First corner for the afternoon. Alex Royas. Good corner whipped in, cleared by Craig Alvin. What a defender he's been, as we mentioned, for the Melbourne Knights and Heidelberg. Now made that move to the Dandenong Thunder with new manager Chris Taylor at the helm. And a healthy crowd beginning to stream in here at John Cain Memorial Reserve. Northcote with an away victory in round 4 against the Melbourne Knights, scoring at the death. And Vulgaris and Piemonte, the scorers for Northcote a fortnight ago. And the Dandenong Thunder convincing winners against Moreland by 3-0. Alvin. Here's Brand. Nearly collecting a seagull. They're in the process with that long ball. Constantinides wasn't sure what assistance he had on the inside. Went for the safety. Guided that ball over the line. Here's a threat for Northcote. Bowen. And the referee spotting a foul, the first for the afternoon. And speaking of referees, some really good news to filter out of Victorian football this week. one of the most experienced the most experienced referees in Victorian football, let alone state football. Hakan Anas will be representing Victoria and Australia at the 2012 London Olympics, which is a fantastic feat. And Hakan Anas will be off to the London Olympic Games to officiate in the men's football competition, and we wish him all the very best. Unfortunately, our under-23 soccer team, football team, were unable to qualify for the Olympics for the first time in 28 years. Hopefully the trend can be reversed at the 2016 Rio de Janeiro Olympics, but we wish Hakan Anas all the best in his official capacity as a referee at London 2012, the referee in the thick of the action there again. Okay. Referee just asking okay to take the ball from where the foul occurred. Chapeta. And a terrible transfer across the park. Northcote will have enough in terms of numbers to get themselves out of danger, but there's a wasted opportunity. Thompson back in the starting lineup this week for the Thunder, former gold medalist from Hume. And we're talking about the crowd before, a healthy crowd beginning to stream in at John Cain Memorial Reserve, particularly on this media side, seeking some shelter in the stands. And regardless of who or where Northcote have been playing over the years or over the divisions, always draw a healthy crowd. Surely a foul there on Lucic. The referee's given the advantage. And just a reminder, we've already had 3 games played as part of round 5 of the Victorian Premier League, and it all started on Friday night with a mixed bag of results, it must be said. Bentley Greens defeating the Melbourne Knights by a goal to nil. Oakley and Richmond 1-1. Looking to clear that ball. We'll get back to the results in a moment. Mullet. And now the free kick will be given to the Thunder. Getting back to those results on Friday night, the Bentley Greens defeating the Melbourne Knights by a goal to nil at Kingston Heath Reserve. And down the road at Jack Edwards Reserve at Oakley, it was the Cannons and Richmond squaring at 1 goal apiece. Ricky Diaco scoring at the death in that contest to give the Cannons a late point. And one of the first upsets for the season was at Lakeside Stadium, or the new modified Bob Jane Stadium, South Melbourne's ground, who were once a tenant here, and they lost to the Southern Stars, newly promoted Southern Stars, by 2 goals to nil. Bakala Tafidis, it's a great chance for Northcote, looking to get onto that right foot there, had a great chance to have a crack on the left. It's been cleared once again by Alvin. He's come to the rescue twice for the Thunder. 10 minutes played, 0-0, and Northcote playing more like a top of the table team. They've had the bulk of the possession, 1 or 2 chances to show for it, but no impact on the scoreboard today. This time a curling ball. Now the referee signalling a penalty, and he signalled a push, and Webster looks absolutely bamboozled. So too the Thunder defence. It's going to be really interesting, and apologies here where we're commentating this afternoon. We do not have access to replay vision, and in particular Craig Alvin looking bamboozled. Must say, from the naked eye, Webster came out, cleared that ball, didn't look much in it, but the referee has seen something. He's indicated a push, and he's pointed to Craig Alvin, and what a chance here for Northcote to find the lead in the opening 10 minutes of this game, and sweetly converted. Clafatidi sending Webster the wrong way, and Webster needs to be careful here. This could be a yellow card in frustration. Luckily for the referee hasn't seen it. He's kicked that ball into the middle of next week, and Calafatidis gets the first Northcote. James Calafatidis on the spot. You just heard that from the official announcement, and to warm applause of the home crowd. And we spoke about John Cain Memorial Reserve being a fortress for Northcote. Now the challenge is going to be, can they either hold on to or extend this lead? You know, with the Dandenong Thunder They've already scored 12 goals, and the flag up. That was a fine line there for Bowen too. And with those boots and haircut, that is certainly visible from a NASA satellite image. And relief there for Chris Theodoridis. And we spoke about 3 other games previously already being played as part of round 5 Victorian Premier League football. And we have another game currently underway as well, and it's the champions Green Gully entertaining the Moreland Zebras at Green Gully Reserve. And we'll keep you up to date with regular score updates. Was that a nudge? On okay. Referee says no, that was okay. Pardon the pun. Here he is again. Savio, what a player he's been for Northcote over the years, and nearly a transfer going wrong there. Nearly intercepted by Theodore. And okay. First yellow, Paris okay. In the book. And some interesting decisions already this afternoon. We saw a penalty, and the referees indicated it was a push, denying a goal scoring position. And a chance here for the Thunder. Bowen squares it in, and Theodoridis there with a great save on his feet because Alvin was there. He was, in fact, take that back. Vethan Kochadi was there, unmarked on the 6-yard box, ready to tap that in with Theodoridis off his line. And the Northcote keeper saving a certain goal there. An equaliser from the Dandenong Thunder. Theodoridis punching that clear. Ball whipped in, okay. Northcote really have to get this passing precise. There isn't much on the counter for them. It may come undone. Trying to weave his way out of some traffic there. Royas, formerly with the Greens, and he's obviously come along with Goran Jozanovski. Webster just holding that inside. And getting back to those scores across the ground. The Green Gully Moreland Zebras game, apologies, has been played. It was played earlier. Initially thought that the game was being played at the same time, and in fact it was yesterday, Saturday at 3 PM, not Sunday. My apologies there. And for the record, Green Gully defeated the Moreland Zebras by 2-1, which makes interesting reading the Victorian Premier League table, particularly with Oakley collecting a point, Bentley and Green Gully collecting maximum points. It's a huge game for Northcote to win if they are to keep in touch with the top 5. Okay. And Bowen, this time the flag will stay down, but Theodoridis will get there first. 2 good pieces of goalkeeping there from Theodoridis. Getting a little nudge there. Lovely control. Kearney. And no advantage given. Liam Kearney. Turning our minds back to our round 2 broadcast between the Thunder and the Knights. Or round 3 rather. Victorian Premier League live game. And this man had an absolute stellar game for the Thunder. And we're broadcasting to you live with the crowd deep in the grandstands. There's plenty of atmosphere, plenty of action. I'm sure it's coming across to you live wherever you're watching worldwide. And wherever you are, we trust you're enjoying the live action here from John Cain Memorial Reserve. Whether it's good afternoon in Victoria, other parts of Australia, or good morning in Europe, and a big hole gaping here in the Dandenong defence. It's a great chance for Northcote to try and find a second. Bulgaris. And played it too late, you feel. Was forced wide. And either he or Lucic had a chance there first time, you feel. Lucic maybe could have had a crack himself. opted to be unselfish. Lovely touch from Bowen. Is to releases Kearney coming in from nowhere. D'Agostino. Thought Kearney might have got a crack on the volley there. Quarter of an hour just lapsed in this round 5 Victorian Premier League match. Northcote City and the Dandenong Thunder. And early days in this competition, but this game has huge ramifications for the season to come. Dandenong looking to extend their lead on the top of the table, this time from long range Thompson, and it brings out the best in Theodorides again. What a game he's having thus far. He's already saved 2 certain goals. That was a sweet crack there from Thompson. Just a touch more power on that. You felt it would have gone through or past Theodorides. Sweetly positioned and beautifully read there from, there he is again, Theodorides. Came up with confidence there, D'Agostino. And the transfers letting Northcote down. I'm sure Goran Lozanovski won't be impressed, because that was a huge strength in his game. One of the set-piece specialists of Australian football. He'd whip a ball from end to end in a heartbeat, did Goran Lozanovski. Who could forget back in his glory days, in particular with South Melbourne. And a lovely run and move from Theodore. What a revelation he's been too for Dandenong this season. Northcote not out of trouble yet. Sent in low. And smart refereeing. I'm not sure. A few ums and ahs from the crowd. No advantage there. It was a touch late from Thompson. And 2 coaches for Northcote and Dandenong. Both had stints at previous clubs. Chris Taylor with the Georgies and the Melbourne Knights in particular. Now at the Thunder, Goran Lozanovski with Preston, a championship winning manager at Preston. And sad story for Victorian football watching their plight. And the crowd there on the outer not happy with that elbow being raised. The referee had a good look at it. Thought there was no malice or spite there. Good sportsmanship there too. Shane Rexepi just checking his opponent's okay. That's exactly what it was. An accidental collision. Good challenge there from OK. Collected the football before his opponent had the option there. Constantinides, using Theodorides, opted to go down the line, but some good pressure from the Thunder will keep the ball deep in Northcote's half. Mullet. In fact, it'll be Elvin. Easy pickings there for Theodorides. Okay with a long ball. May have been some holding there. And beautifully latched onto by Treloar. And measuring his run a touch too late, Milos Lucic. And the Dandenong Thunder, their defence, one of the strengths in their game. And a long bullet there from Thompson. This time Theodorides was beaten, and surely that will be a foul. Theodorides is not happy with that, and Corchadi needs to be careful here. The elbow went in, and he needs to be careful about the ramifications here. And we'll get back to that positive piece of football there. What about that strike there from Ross Thompson? Another sweet strike. This time Theodorides was beaten, and the woodwork saving him, and Veton Conchati then just need to take a pill or two there just to sedate his nerves, and correctly so has been yellow carded. The naked eye didn't have eyes to the football, and Theodorides, yes, and correctly so, should be yellow carded for retaliation. And there you go, you probably heard through the microphone a few of the members of the audience just interacting with some of the live crew here at our disposal at John Cain Memorial Reserve. Just querying what the yellow card was for on both occasions. And just wanted to seek some clarification as well for the initial penalty. And the crowd concur it was a push. And in fact, the correct decision from the referee. Theodorides, what a game he's having today. Only blemish. And this game is becoming spiteful. Jonathan Vulgaris this time in the book, and the way this is going, there's going to be a few players for both Northcote and Dandenong having early showers. There's no way the match can be sustained with this level of spiteness. And it's really going to come down to who holds their will, balance and temper. Both teams really haven't settled down yet. Dandenong certainly frustrated by some of the refereeing decisions, in particular the penalty. Northcote, with some of the physical challenges that Dandenong have put forth in this game. Rexepi will overlap with Theodore. Beautifully cut back in, freeing up Bowen. This is great play from the Thunder. Bowen will make something out of this. Whips the ball in. A corner, it's an open goal. Kearney, there's the equaliser. And Dandenong have only trailed for 10 minutes. Liam Kearney, but you can thank Bowen there with the assistance. Great play. It all started with Theodore and Bowen there on the right. Bowen whipped that ball in, and as a result of the Northcote defence getting sucked into trying to cut that supply off from Bowen, found an unmarked Kearney there a few yards out from goal. That was easy pickings for Kearney. And the Thunder have equalised, and it's 1-1. Game on again at John Cain Memorial Reserve. Well, there's one thing Northcote at John Cain Memorial Reserve always do, score goals. So too their opponents. And how many times over the years have we brought games to you live where we've seen high scoring 4-4, 4-3 games? Okay. That was okay. Referee with a good view of it. Great challenge. And great to see too when Dandenong scored that equaliser. A huge travelling contingent of supporters have made the trip across Melbourne. And the Thunder, with a big supporter base, they've certainly made the trip from southeast suburbs of Melbourne to the northern suburbs. And great to see football alive and healthy at grassroots level in Victoria. Conchati, what a presence he is up front, starting in the 11 this week. Here's the goal scorer, Kearney. Needs some assistance. Northcote struggling to get it out. Kearney draws another corner. And we spoke about Kearney weaving his influence in that round 3 Victorian Premier League match against the Knights. And he's done it again. Beautiful assist there. Started with Theodore and Bowen. And it was finished by Kearney. Being cautious there, Theodorides, allowing Chipetta to clear, but Rexepi has a few options too. One of them, Conchati on the far post. Okay there. Or was it Royas defending there at that vital moment? Looking there to get a free header. On the back post was Conchati. The Thunder veteran who's been through thick and thin. Watching his team get promoted. And now sitting more than comfortably in the Victorian Premier League over the last 4 years. Okay. Lovely defending there from Alvin. Made that look easy. Bowen, here's trouble. What about that to find some space for himself and mopping up the danger and reading that play. Theodorides, and a lapse in concentration there from Trelaw. Now, Theodore, too much on that for Kearney, but it was the right intention. Approaching the half-hour mark of this contest. Scores locked, 1-1 between Northcote and the Thunder. And if you're just joining our broadcast, it was James Calafatides who scored from the penalty spot at the 10th minute mark for Northcote. And the Thunder equalised exactly 13 minutes later. What a great build-up too. Liam Kearney mopping up the pieces on the line. And a simple tap in. And the league leaders back in this contest. And here's a statistic for you. That's the first goal the Thunder have conceded all season. And it's taken 5 rounds to do so. Northcote, the first team to find the back of the Dandenong Thunder / Stuart Webster net. Back of the net. What a fine goalkeeper Stuart Webster's been over the years. You know, if you've scored, you've done something special. He is a tough man to negotiate. So the Thunder conceded their first goal, not only for the game, but for the season. And a bit rattled too. Some frustration crept in their game. So too Northcote's game early on. We saw more cards dished out this afternoon that had a poker tournament last night. But credit to both teams beginning to find their feet. And in particular, the Dandenong Thunder have found their feet, beginning to dominate this game. They've already equalised. And every time they bring the ball forward, this man in particular, Corchardi and Bowen and Thompson, what about his efforts from long range before as well? Nearly could have had 2 himself. And the Thunder are pressing. Northcote going to have to find their composure again. Easily done from Bran. Here he is making a venture forward. Lovely footwork too. Wanted Corchardi, intercepted by Agostino. We've had a great game on our hands here this afternoon, and for the record, if you're watching our live broadcast locally, there's more football you can watch live, and it all concludes tonight at 6 p.m. at Heidelberg. And what a game for both Heidelberg and Hume. Heidelberg sitting precariously in the relegation position with only a point this season. Need the points to try and fend off any early relegation scares up against the Hume City, who have started the season slow too. And that game can be seen at Olympic Park, Heidelberg from 6 p.m. tonight. It won't be broadcast live, but remember, you can get all the live scores and updates from the official Football Federation of Victoria Premier League Twitter and Facebook pages. Jump online, become a friend, and track the live scores across the men's and women's leagues. Northcote eventually getting themselves out of danger. Okay. No one there behind. On the turn, Thompson again. This time with his left boot. And he is a threat from long range. Theodorides flicked on by Royas. He's been good in the air, Alex Royas, the former Bentley Green, who's made the trip across. with Goran Lozanovski. And now a chance here for Northcote if they can hold the football. A handball hadn't been seen, but Craig Alvin to the rescue. And in fairness to the referee, was blinded by it. I'm not sure if the assistant had a good view of it. Fulgardis. Great cross. Problem is, didn't find the target. It looks good in the air. Theodore. Back with Thompson. And Thompson, that is certainly one of the benefits and strengths of his game, his long-range passing and finishing. We've seen it on display this afternoon. What a challenge that was for Fulgardis, and it was a fair one too. And it'd be interesting if this ball can be collected on the inside from Kalafatidis. And Craig Alvin, some brilliant defending. You know why he was in the starting 11, one of the state defenders of the season last year, and you see exactly why Chris Taylor wanted the experienced defender across to the Thunder. He's doing his job this afternoon. Said it before and said it again. He's certainly one of a number of players that I really feel can make the transition easy from a Victorian Premier League potentially to an A-League club or abroad. And there he is again, cutting off supply from Kalafatidis. Bowen. What a threat he's been this afternoon too. And that was interesting there from Chipetta, looking to bump him. And he fell himself. Cocciardi has runners wide. Thompson can finish this. It copped a wicked deflection. And that easily could have been a second there for the Thunder. Savio and in particular Theodoridis there with a huge sigh of relief. Theodoridis had it covered. It copped a deflection or two and didn't know which way to look or turn. The Thunder, you just think it's a matter of time when a second could be on the cards. Tall timber there, Brand, but Chiapetta winning out. Rexepi, he's been quiet by his standards, but not much of the play has occurred down that right flank. It's really been dictated through the middle of the corridor or the left side, particularly with Kearney, but here's Rexepi. Kearney looking to win the ball. Flicked away by Lucic. Cocciardi, what about that holding? Cocciardi did everything right, held that football beautifully. Dribbling superb, but the finishing lets him down. That would have been a great piece of play. Should he have found the target? And more than happy to provide a couple of score updates from around the grounds with other games being played across the leagues. And from Fox Street St Albans, Division 1 football, Port Melbourne St Albans. Port Melbourne, who were nearly promoted the last game of the season last season, now meeting St Albans, who were relegated from the Victorian Premier League. And it's the Saints, St Albans leading Port Melbourne by a goal to nil. But we'll get back to this contest here. Kearney did well to deny the corner there, Chipetta. Northcote have been under huge amounts of pressure in their half, particularly the last 10 minutes. Wanting Kalafatidis there on the inside was Lucic. Rexepi. Another player for my liking that could or should be playing in leagues above the Victorian Premier League, but it's for our benefit and for Dandenong Thunder's benefit. We're able to have the likes of he and other players playing in this league. The Thunder looking to find the lead for the first time this afternoon. They were down after 10 minutes to Northcote. Kalafatidis on the penalty spot, converted after 10 minutes. The Thunder got back in this contest. Liam Kearney equalised just before the 25th minute mark. And it's 1-1. And the problem for Northcote, it's been one-way traffic, particularly the last 10 to 15 minutes. Northcote nearly exposed the hole in the two centre halves and found a way through Kalafatidis, but it was superbly defended by Craig Alvin. Other than that, it's been the Thunder the last 10 to 15 minutes. But speaking of the Devil, this is a beautiful run against the counter if Northcote can find their way through. And Kalafatidis there collided with his defender. Northcote looking for the free kick, but it looked fair. And there were runners wide to the relief of the Thunder. Bulgaris will have to do well, being circled by three defenders. In fact, Kearney coming up as a makeshift wing back there to do the defending. Webster, that was goal bound. It was a cross that ended up turning into a shot. We mentioned it before. You won't get past Stuart Webster easily. And he decided to time that at the last minute. Thought it wasn't going over the bar. And his judgment was spot on. That dipped wickedly at the last minute. And the cross looked goal bound. Northcote against the run of play. Can they find the target? A free hit on the back post and Stuart Webster. We've seen some brilliant goalkeeping this afternoon. Chris Theodoridis, and now it's Stuart Webster's turn. Through a sea of players, so confidently came out and handled that ball. And it was a free header there from Lucic on the back post. He found the target, so well read there. He was very much blinded through a sea of traffic there, Stuart Webster. What a great game. It's unfurling here at John Cain Memorial Reserve, Northcote and Dandenong. It's 6th versus 1st. The Thunder looking to consolidate top spot. They're currently sitting level with the Bentley Greens on 12 points apiece. The Thunder do have this game in hand, though. Depending on the result, if it does stay as is, they will be a point clear on top. But there's certainly all 3 points for both sides to play for. Kalafatidis. And you're just seeing passages of play like that, how much Northcote missed the serves of Trent Rickson there. Bowen, lovely touch, providing Theodore, who wanted him there on the inside. Royce. Twisting, weaving, and eventually getting through Theodore, buying some space. Savio, lovely transfer, the wind just holding it up. Rexepi with 2 to manage there on the right. Okay. How do you assist us through Treloa? It's a good overlapping run. Lucic. Too many red and black shirts to contend with. The Thunder. And that's why they've been a tough nut to crack all season. They've conceded their first goal this afternoon for the season. And that was a 50-50. We had a great view of it. Thought he got the football first. May have nudged him out on the side. The referee had a good view of it. Thompson and Northcote need to be careful because this is exactly where Thompson strings live from long range, and the form he's been in this afternoon, why not? He saw Theodoridis off his line and opted to take the crack quickly. It just brings you back to that David Beckham crack against Wimbledon in the early days of the Premier League. Savio. Savio again with the transfer. Treloa, this time with some space. Okay. Looking to present. Kalafatidis just couldn't sit for him. This wind certainly playing some tricks here at John Cain Memorial Reserve. With strength there, Royce. Treloa. And more like a kick and hope cross there from OK. Savio couldn't get there, and this spells trouble. Kearney, you know what he was thinking, wanted to feed it space, wanted to feed it into space rather, to Bowen wide. Once again, just too much with that transfer. Just over 5 minutes remaining before half-time in this contest. It's 1-1. And now, chance here for the Thunder again. And just wants to provide a correction with one of the goal scorers, or the goal updates rather, that we provided. Did mention before it was St Albans playing Port Melbourne. Correction, it was the Altona Magic. And for the record, the Saints are still leading that contest by a goal to nil. And apologies for that error on my behalf. And lovely footwork and a great assist here, Kalafatidis and Bran. What about that for some one-on-one defending? Couldn't get through Thompson, and that has been the Thunder's strength all season. Just when you thought Kalafatidis there was clear, whether it be Alvin, whether it be Bran, or this man Rexepi, they have been really hard to break down the Thunder. And it's taken a penalty for them this afternoon for their net to be disturbed for the first time this season. Referee's checking his watch for the record. 2 to 3 minutes left before we hit stoppage time. There won't be too much of it, maybe a minute or two to make up for those few yellow cards which stopped play early on in this contest. Rexepi. Corchadi, what about that? He knew exactly where Theodore was. Rexepi with the ball across. Kearney, a bit more power on that finish. That would have been an easily his second and Dandenong's second for the afternoon. Great play once again, particularly Veton Corchadi, the veteran. A touch too late. It will be Northcote's free kick. Chepeta opts to play it short. Savio. And that man Bran. Dandenong haven't had too much to do defensively. But boy, he and Alvin have been called upon and have done their job. Holding up the Thunder defence, the two centre halves, and what a presence they are. Being supported there wide by Mullet and also Rexepi. Lucic would have been offside. Webster. Chepeta will have time and should guide it out, and does. Webster will restart this Thunder attack. Opts for direct route. Too deep for Corchadi. Just missed by Thompson, and now this will free up Northcote, particularly in midfield, but it was the wrong option. Plenty of space and players in the middle for Northcote. Will they get a second crack? Kearney did brilliant to beat three, but Northcote with numbers just in their half. And now referee will halt play here. Corchati's gone down, and hopefully for his sake it's just some cramp, but it looks worse for the veteran who's limping. And hopefully for he and Thunder's sake, the captain will be okay. Kearney doing the right thing. Back to Theodorides. Treloar. Easy pickings for Brand. Thompson. He's had a great first half himself too. Mullet hasn't seen plenty of the football. And now Northcote looking for a chance on the counter, but this has been their fallback, and sheer strength there from Melbourne. Now muscling colour for Theodes. Corchati back up in one piece. Can't keep it alive. As you can see there, from the footage, it's a healthy crowd. A good 1,000 to 1,500 in attendance here at John Cain Memorial Reserve for this match between Northcote City and the Dandenong Thunder. If you just joined our broadcast, a warm welcome here from Northcote, the northern suburbs of Melbourne this afternoon. And it's currently 1-1, Northcote in the blue, Dandenong in their traditional red and black kit. And a big travelling contingent too of Dandenong supporters, which is great. They've made the hour-plus trip from Dandenong to Northcote to come and see Dandenong's undefeated season continue. Currently stands as that, locked at 1-1, but the Thunder haven't shared the spoils yet this season. They've won all their games. And they came back and equalised in this contest, and Bowen read the play beautifully, found some space on the inside. He wanted Corchati, and he knew he muddled that opportunity up. He could have squared that on the inside, rather played it forward, a cross goal, ultimately too deep for him. And Theodorides there will be able to restart. And surely this could be one of the last rolls of the dice for either team to score. We're deep into stoppage time. Brand, the referee, beginning to look at his watch too. Webster. Savio missed it. Dandenong with numbers. Brand. Here's Rexepi. What about the pressure? And that forced Theodorides to clear that out frantically. Great pressure there, Shane Rexepi. Dandenong still with a chance to try and find a second and potentially hit the lead for the first time this afternoon. Corchati on the inside. Theodore there, good defending from Chipeta, sending it in. Rexepi should and will be cleared by D'Agostino. And Northcote, they've troubled Dandenong on the counter a few times. This needs to be pinpoint. And Brand, he's my candidate for man of the match in this first half. It has been brilliant, particularly he and Thompson. What about that confidence there from Chipeta? Now this will be another yellow card, you feel. Rexepi this time in the book. It was careless. Okay, can Northcote find themselves the lead again? And it has been against the run of play. Well, Chipeta was not confident there. Felt he had nothing in midfield. And it was a good call too. Dandenong had all Options marked. And on that note, half-time is signalled in what has been an entertaining contest here at John Cain Memorial Reserve. Northcote found the lead via the penalty spot in the 10th minute, courtesy of James Calafatidis, but it was cancelled out just on the stroke of the 25th minute mark by Liam Kearney for the Dandenong Thunder. Can Dandenong keep their undefeated season intact, or will Northcote inflict pain on the Thunder for the first time this season, or will the spoils be shared? We'll find out in just over 10 minutes' time, where you can join us back with the action live from John Cain Memorial Reserve. Good afternoon and welcome back to John Cain Memorial Reserve. We're nearly underway to kick off the second half between the Dandenong Thunder and Northcote City. And the Thunder, the visitors, will be kicking off proceedings, and they'll be kicking from left to right of your screen. And we're underway. Jawadi, Alvin, and just during the break, bumped into former coach of the Premier League, George Katsakis, here watching the action. I'm just commenting on how well organised the Dandenong back four have been, in particular Brown and Alvin. There's no doubt about it. And the Thunder, if you've just jumped online and joined our broadcast, Dandenong undefeated for the season and conceded their first goal for the season against Northcote this afternoon. Northcote found the lead first off. Here's Bowen. A chance here for the Thunder to hit the lead, and Theodorides again so confidently coming off his line. Bowen should have had his first. The Thunder should have had their second, and there's no doubt about it. Chris Theodorides is keeping Northcote in this contest. And getting some pats there from OK and some other teammates. Cleared by Northcote. Theodore. Lovely overlap. Will whip it in. In fact, Northcote do well to get the goal kick. Defend there, in particular from Trelaw. And just going around the grounds again, we gave you an update before. St Albans, Altona Magic, the Saints still leading that game by 1-0 early in the second half of that game to Division 1 Victorian football. But here in the Premier League, it's the Thunder and Northcote square 1-1. We mentioned before, if you joined the broadcast, Northcote scored in the 10th minute and it was cancelled by Dandenong 15 minutes later. James Kearney for the Thunder. Corchardi. He's another one that needs to be careful. Currently 6 players on yellow cards, but the only thing that's yellow about Bowen's his boots. Thompson. Lovely overlap. Bowen should make this too. And he squandered another chance. And Bethan Corchardi just behind him with his hands on his hair, whatever he's got left of it, in disbelief. How did he fluff that? Theodorides. Metropolis will restart for Northcote. One by Thompson. Missed there by Corchardi. Now, hits of a handball there, no doubt about it. Seppi. And we'll just recap those scores for you. Throughout round 5 of the Premier League, that one heavy hit by Trelaw. It all started on Friday night, and the Bentley Greens entertained the Melbourne Knights, and the Greens were triumphant by 1-0. And 2 other games played on Friday night. The Oakley Cannons and the Richmond Eagles playing a 1-1 draw. Ricky Diaco equalising at the death for the Cannons. And one of the first big upsets for the season, South Melbourne lost to the Southern Stars by 2-0 at Lakeside Stadium. And yesterday the champions, Green Gully, they defeated the Moreland Zebras by 2-1. The newly promoted Zebras at Green Gully Reserve. Whilst this afternoon here at John Cain Memorial Reserve, it's a goal all between Dandenong and Northcote, but a chance here for Kearney, looking to cut back on the inside. It's 1-1, as we mentioned, between Northcote City and the Dandenong Thunder, and there'll be another game to complete round 5. Bowen, this will result in another yellow card, the 7th for the afternoon. And the way this game's being played, we're not going to have 22 on the pitch before this game's out. And this time Hayden D'Agostino in the books. And luckily for his sake, that foul just committed outside the box, but you'd think it'd be Ross Thompson who would take this free kick. He can easily score from here. Set piece specialist, so too Rexepi. Or Kearney, it could be a raffle. Looks like it's going to be Thompson. And whilst we wait for the set piece, it's Heidelberg and Hume to play out round 5 of the Premier League. Thompson. Ball whipped in. Cleared there frantically. Constantinides missed by all. For a minute there, thought that was going to drift in past Theodoridis. Looked like he had it covered, but taking no chances there, Constantinides. Kearney, lovely place ball. Corchadi, Northcote looking for the second, and this time to get it, and this time Bowen does get the second. Now he's looking to check if there was any offside. The flag stays down. The Northcote defence, in fact the entire team, looking to see if the flag's gone up. Now the referee's going to be having a chat with his assistant. This goal has not been confirmed yet. Now it has. Now it has. And Bowen, Nathaniel Bowen Foster, has scored finally. He could have had 1 or 2 himself prior. The Thunder, for the first time this afternoon, have found the lead in this contest. And Theodoridis did everything there to try and clear that free header. Looked like it was going to hit the bar. Just unable to hold it there. And mopping up the pieces in a bit of a sense of deja vu there. A bit like the first goal. Easy pickings there for Bowen, who tapped it in just like Kearney did in the first half. And the Thunder are back on track to maintain their 100% unbeaten record. But Northcote will not lie down running. And if there's one thing you know you're going to get out of Northcote, it's 100% effort. And we've seen that in every season since they've been promoted to the Victorian Premier League. Savio has had a bit of trouble with some of his transfers this afternoon. Cut off by Theodore. And now Northcote need to be careful here. Thunder, I was about to say, had players running on the rebound. But luckily Bowen just couldn't hold it. But here he is again. Bowen. Kearney there wide. Will cut it in. Theodore has another runner wide. Jawadi. Theodore. Thompson. Some desperate defending there. Constantinides. Lunging effort, and it was fair. And it will be a Northcote ball. We touched on before, Heidelberg and Hume will kick off the final game to conclude round 5 of the Premier League at 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time at Olympic Village this evening. And speaking of Heidelberg, they will feature in our live Victorian Premier League Game of the Week, and they're up against old foes, the Melbourne Knights from Knight Stadium. You'll be able to watch all that action. Melbourne cutting off supply. Rexepi keeping it alive. Bowen and Chipetta in a tussle. And although out-muscled, Bowen with the pace, but Northcote with the numbers. And getting back to our live Victorian Premier League Game of the Round next week. You can catch all that action live from Knight Stadium, 3 p.m. Lovely cutting on the inside for Calafatidis. And Craig Elvin again combining, and surely Rexepi nudge there. Calipatides is not happy. Craig Alvin giving a high five to his counterpart Brand there. And it's no coincidence those two have been one of the best. And here we have it. Another yellow card. The 8th for the match. A remarkable statistic. And it's the goal scorer, Calipatides, in the book. And the way the referee's going, he's going to need to refill that pen with ink. Webster will restart. Touched on it before, but next week the cameras and the live action will be at Summer Street, where it's the Melbourne Knights entertaining Heidelberg United. You can catch that next Sunday on Mother's Day from 3 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, and that will be round 6. Victorian Premier League football coming to you live, but here at John Cain Memorial Reserve, it's the host Northcote City trailing the Dandenong Thunder by 2-1 when Northcote hit the lead. Now Theodorides has come off his line and had to do so. Bowen was making up the pace there on Constantinides, and he would have run one-on-one into an open goal, and he's come off for worse in that collision with Constantinides. No malice in it. And hopefully, for Nathaniel Bowen's sake, he's okay. Maybe slightly winded from that collision. There's some good sportsmanship there too between he and Theodorides. Just checking on him, everything's okay. Whilst in the meantime, Craig Alvin having a chat on the outer flank with a few of the home and away supporters, I'm sure with mixed messages. And Bowen just holding his hip there. Hopefully for he and Dandenong's sake, he's okay. Corciardi. Northcote having difficulty clearing that ball. Lunging effort from Royas. And Thompson, well, only regains possession back temporarily for the Thunder. Rexepi. And in fairness said to the referee, not sure if the handball was intentional or really impeded the flight of the football. Correct decision for my liking as play continues. Bulgaris. Now Northcote really lacks some punch up front. They've only scored 6 goals for the year. And for the record, it reflects where they are in the middle of the table. It coincides with the bulk of the other teams that have scored anywhere between 4 to 6 goals between them. The only exception to that rule is Green Gully, who scored 9. Savio. Here's Mullet. Hasn't had much of the football this afternoon. It's a good pass to Bowen. Nevertheless, will get around his opponent Constantinides and draw the corner. And the way Dandenong are playing 20 minutes into this second half, it's going to take a lot to stop their unbeaten run. Northcote have been on the back foot pretty much since the 20th minute mark of this first half. They've had their chances. Calipatides in particular nearly found a way through, but the Dandenong defence doing its job. But mind you, the Thunder, particularly Bowen, have squandered a chance or two themselves. And the scoreline is pretty much a correct reflection of the state of proceedings thus far this afternoon. Dandenong trailed for just under 15 minutes of this match, where Northcote scored the first, but it's been one-way traffic since. Looking for a third, the Thunder. In the meantime, Northcote looking to defend. Was it another Rexepi? Referee says no. Kearney. Nice move, playing that back into some space. And Mullet, it's a beautifully weighted ball. Well, just when I thought it was going to hold up, it trickles over the sideline. Interesting tussle there between Mullet and Lucic. Here's Treloar. But always dispossessed. Savio having a bit of difficulty controlling that football there. Lunging second effort to try and regain possession, but to no avail. What about the pace there from Theodore? Here's a chance for Cocciardi. Cung in, and the referee pointing to the spot. Look, it was not intentional there from Constantinides, but it was lovely footwork there from Betan Cocciardi. Constantinides did obstruct him as he was going to get back and eventually try and finish that play. And Betan Cocciardi gifts the Thunder their first penalty for the afternoon, and a chance for the Thunder to extend their lead by 2 goals over Northcote. And although the penalty may be converted by Thompson, time will tell. Credit must be given to Cocciardi there. He made something out of nothing. Just when you thought Constantinides had it covered, got tricked into some really fancy footwork, found some space on the inside and was obstructed just on the moment he was about to finish the play. Thompson sends Theodorides the wrong way. He gets his first, and rightly so, after finding the woodwork twice. He's rewarded with the goal. The Thunder are rewarded with their third, and they are well on their way towards continuing their undefeated run of the season. And the scoreline now reads Northcote City 1, Dandenong Thunder 3. So Thompson adds to the score sheet. So too with Bowen and Kearney, for that matter. Well, Kalafatidis, the sole goal scorer for Northcote City. And Northcote City have been undefeated here all season. That's on the cusp of changing. And the challenge certainly with Northcote to try and find an avenue back in this contest. It's going to be a challenge. They've been up against it, but football is a funny game. And having a headache to show for that will be Mullet. Lovely defended there from Alvin. Cocciardi with 2 to beat. Theodorides straight down the corridor. Wanted his target forward in Kalafatidis. Lovely dummy there from Cocciardi. Bowen just sipped at the wrong moment. Oh, what about that for a transfer from Betan Cocciardi? Sexy ball has a new definition. And nearly there to get the return ball. Has assistance there on the inside, cut off by Savio. Theodore won't be able to get there. And Betan Cocciardi had a quiet first half, but he's been in the thick of it in the second. Here's Rexepi. And wanted the run there on the inside of Kearney. Speaking of runs, this is a good one coming up from Vulgaris. And Northcote turning defence into attack. One of the first corners for Northcote City this half. Royas, his corner, not the best. We'll have another opportunity to send it in if Mullet allows him. Good defence there from Mullet. Force that cross wide. Chipetta. Here's Royas whipping it in. Northcote looking for a second, then an avenue back. And spraying that over the bar, Vulgaris. One of the first substitutions for the afternoon. Jonathan Vulgaris coming off. And Ricardo Demo, number 19, coming on for Northcote City. Goran Lozanovski making his first substitution for the afternoon. Lozanovski replacing long-time manager and South Melbourne legend Peter Tsalakis, who ironically has gone back to South Melbourne this season, replacing Vaughan Coveney. Nice little chip. And speaking of the new substitute, Demott getting one of his first touches. What about that defending again from Craig Alban? Easy pickings here for Alvin and also Brand. Good pressure there from Demo. The new substitute, but he's illegally infringed Alvin, who's suggesting there to the assistant it may have deserved the card. Not sure about that. Webster. Thompson may have had a case there for a free kick. Slipping over at that vital moment, Rexepi. Pitch a touch slippery. And a good ball coming in, and once again it's Craig Alvin mopping up the pieces and rescuing the Thunder. And Northcote, despite trailing by 2 goals, have lifted the last 5 minutes and looking for an avenue back in this game, and they certainly need one, but it's that man again, Alvin, but this time, what about that for a crack? Constantinides absolutely giving that his all, had the power just over the bar. Lovely clearance again from Webster. Couldn't find Bowen. Lucic. It's been quieter this half. And even though North could have lifted a cog or two the last 5 minutes, really hasn't translated into any pressure upon goal thus far for the Thunder. Will that change? Great ball whipped in across the face of goal. Will it sit up Treloar? It won't. And apologies to where we are filming. Both corners at either end of John Cain Reserve at our media/grandstand side are difficult to cover. Royce, one-on-one with Kearney. Savio, what about that for a challenge? Lunging in there, Ross Thompson. We have just under 20 minutes remaining in this contest. And it's the Thunder, the visitors, Dandenong, that are in control, leading Northcote by 3-1 when they were down 2 under similar circumstances that they found themselves in last week. They were trailing in that knockout state cup game, and Theodore and also Savio there in a collision where both favours have come off worse for wear. And this is going to be interesting, I tell you what. And the flag and play will continue. And good defending there from Iqbal Jawadi. Thought the flag was going to go up, but didn't, and quickly denied Mios Lucic any chance to run in with a free shot on goal. And now the medical attention is being received for both Matt Theodore and also Paul Savio. And we really hope not only both players are okay, but in particular Paul Savio, who has come back from long-term injury and has been an absolute star, to say the least, for Northcote in the latter stages of last season and also this season. Theodore and Savio receiving some treatment. Theodore is up in one piece. The same can't be said thus far for Savio. Well, it's going to be interesting to see now. This could force an early substitution for Goran Lozanovski. Now, I'm no Dr. Nick Riviera, but you think Savio will be okay. He got up a bit gingerly. But the right said Fred lookalike should be okay. And it may not force a substitution from Goran Lozanovski, but it certainly forced Chris Taylor's hand for Dandenong. Hamlet Armenian coming on and coming off to the warm applause of the visiting supporters. He scored a goal himself. Nathaniel Bowen, what a game he's had, and could have had a goal himself. Nathaniel Bowen scored one. Could have had 2 or 3 behind the back of the old onion bag. And Hamlet Armenian, no stranger to scoring goals himself. And isn't there some depth on the Thunder bench when you have the luxury of having this man come on as another attacking weapon with fresh legs. Kearney won't be able to control it. Treloar. Kalafatidis, lovely turn and dribble too. Will he pass it? Well, doing the passing for him was Brand with the tackle. Okay. Savio, and good to see him back up in one piece too. Treloar and missed by all. Okay, and also Lucic there had a chance to connect to that cross. Theodoridis. Rexepi happy to clear down the line. Keeps it alive. Kochari. Out-muscled this time by Chapeta. And Theodoridis. A very unorthodox clearance, but did its job. And Thompson made that look easy. Mullet. He doesn't have one of them, but he's having a good second half, no doubt about it. Lovely flick on here to Theodore. Theodore looking to get his way through some heavy traffic. And, well, that was an interesting call. The referee thought Theodoridis had eyes for the ball. Just trying to clarify the situation for you. Not sure why the referee stopped play there. Not sure if it was an offside call. We are blinded by the assistant in this part of the stadium. But nevertheless, play will restart. Looking to collect some frequent flyer points there. Craig Albin, certainly a candidate for man of the match this afternoon. Rexepi. Corciati. Wasn't a convincing call there from Corciati. This time it will be a Northcote, in fact, a Dandenong ball. Getting the football there first. Now this is going to be interesting. Brand, the 9th player in the book this afternoon. That was very late on Lucic. We're just going to mention before, Royce, the man with the football now, timed that previous tackle with executed it perfectly. Royce, not content, that's 10 yards, having a check with the referee. Royce can't find the blue shirt in the box. Certainly been the Thunder's strength all afternoon. Kearney. Jawadi looking for the 1-2. It's come undone. Once again, that man rescuing possession back for the Thunder, Craig Alvin. Now a chance for Northcote to try and get one back. And he's disappointed with that effort. Paddy, okay. And as Webster starts play, this game just dropping a notch in intensity. It was a brilliant first half, and a bit of the sting's gone out of the Northcote City tail the last 5 to 10 minutes. It was a late surge to try and find an avenue back in this game. They're currently trailing by 2 goals, down 3-1. Can they get a second and ensure this contest will go right down to the wire? It won't be without attempt from Calafatidis. Easy pickings for Webster. Webster, another direct kick straight down the middle of the corridor, but this time Northcote looking to break through this Dandenong defence, and Webster lost it temporarily. To his relief, gets it back. Calafatidis applying the pressure. Webster. And luckily for him, the bounce went in his favour, and Armenian placed Korchadi in an onside position. Desperate play there from Thompson. He wanted the football more. And Dandenong thought they were going to be defending 3 seconds ago, but now suddenly find themselves with a corner, courtesy of Ross Thompson. Ball whipped in. Thompson nearly connecting, but Rexepi did. And it's connected the wrong way for him. Nowhere near the target there. Ambitious attempt there on the volley. Thompson. Korchadi. And it should be and will be Konstantinidis' ball. D'Agostino. Cut off Alvin. Lovely overlap here from Kearney. Now only has Korchadi in the box. Will need to do this solo. Now coming back for Kearney. Gets it back. This will be a brilliant goal for him if he could finish it off. He nearly did. Kearney there shouldn't have even had that shot in the first place. Northcote had that covered with numbers. Kearney somehow found a way through a defensive wall for Northcote, and the chip just over the bar. And that would have been one for the highlight reel. One-two failing there between Armenian and Theodore. Theodoridis, luckily for him, has the time. And Theodore there, that would have been interesting had he kept progressing. That ball just stopped his run there on the edge of the box. Theodoridis losing it there for a moment. Ricardo Demo. Craig Alvin. He steered that defensive ship superbly for Dandenong this afternoon. Both he and Brand in complete control. And aside from the penalty, Northcote really haven't been given much. And Theodoridis completely put his defender there, Trelaw, under pressure. Now to Chipeta. They're not out of trouble yet. And Chipeta made it look easy. Trelaw, he's got time. We'll get the throw. Savio. Korchadi's lurking, and good pressure there from veteran Korchadi, and here's the pace of Kearney again. Korchadi, he's assisted in one, and really good defensive, in fact forward pressure there from the Thunder, putting the defensive unit of Northcote City under immense pressure. Northcote really should have dealt with that sooner rather than later. And they've gifted possession back to Dandenong deep in their half, to the delight of Chris Taylor, who's come off the bench, applauding Korchadi and Kearney in particular. Another corner for the Thunder. Can they find the fourth? And they've already, on average, scored 4 goals per game this season, the Thunder. They're looking to keep up with that average, but this time they've conceded one. Tackle there from Thompson, the former gold medalist with Hume, now in a Thunder shirt. As we approach stoppage time in this game. And Thompson coming off to the warm applause. He scored a goal himself. There you see it. Acknowledging the travelling contingent. He's coming off to a warm applause. And he'll be replaced by Shipton Marler for the Thunder. Number 12, Shipton Marler coming on. And Ross Thompson receiving a warmer applause than Hamish did for his gold logie a few weeks ago. Chapetta. Luckily there, the Calatafides it holds up. D'Agostino. One Calatafides again. Surprise, surprise. The Thunder defence not taking a trick. And now, Corciardi. It's a solid challenge. Can they turn this defensive play into attack? They should. They've got plenty of numbers. Armenian. Kearney's there on the inside. Another corner for the Thunder. Looking really impressive on the rebound. Kearney looking for a target. Theodorides off his line, too tall for him, and it's a fourth over the line. And Theodorides has had such a good game now. This is interesting. It's been a free kick. The referee spotted some obstruction. His way of play on, and Chris Theodorides will be breathing a sigh of relief. Now, this you think will be a yellow card. Well, lucky to get away with that was Mullet, but getting back to that goal. Well, that shot on goal, Theodorides was a lucky man. He decided to come off his line and fend with that corner. He completely missed it. Thought he was actually going to allow his defenders to take care of it. He opted to take the risk, lost it. It was an open line. And Dandenong looked like they scored it. Thought it was Jawadi there. But it won't count. Just when the Thunder were looking for their season average of 4 goals a game, they've been denied by the ref. And smart play there from Armenian allowed Corciardi that time to be in an onside position. And he touched it. That attack was over. Corciardi wants smart play. Can't be drawn offside from the throw. Armenian out-muscled on that occasion. And this time, Theodorides, the only blood on his game was that attempted save before, where he left his goal line exposed. And some gaps creeping in the Northcote defence, but this time the flag rescuing Northcote City. Northcote City Hercules. A gallant effort against the Thunder. An upset was looming early on in this contest, particularly the first half, where they did take the lead temporarily, courtesy of a James Calatafides penalty in the 10th minute. But pretty much since then, it's been one-way traffic, and it's all been in the direction of the Dandenong Thunder. And they've completely demonstrated why on the road, why they're league leaders after round 5 in this competition, and they've proved that they are going to be one difficult unit, not only to break down, but to defeat this season. And Vetan Corciardi just passing the captain's armband onto Shane Rexepi, and he in turn will receive a warmer applause. Isn't on the goal scoring sheet himself this afternoon, but he assisted one, set up that penalty, and has been very influential, and has taken his opportunity in the starting 11 this afternoon. He'll be coming off. And it's the big man, Sean McElroy, the former Bentley Green, coming on, replacing Corciardi up front. Northcote playing deep into stoppage time now. Time ticking down. The best they can do is find a consolation. Savio copped a wicket deflection, Brand, and this time Kearney clearing. Brand winning the header, but it spills here to Kalafatidis. Will keep it alive, and defending there in particular between Mala and also Rex Epi, the captain, clearing Dandenong out of trouble. Referee just having a quick look at his watch. Can't be too much time remaining in this contest. And the crowd eventually beginning to spill out of John Cain Memorial Reserve. And for all those particularly joining our broadcast from beyond the state of Victoria in Australia, or for that fact overseas, for the record, John Cain, a former Victorian Premier of the state in the 1980s, born and bred in the Northcote area, and hence has this reserve named in his honour. McElroy, one of his first touches for the afternoon. Pressure looming from Armenian. And Northcote making it look difficult when they had all the time and space and players in the world. Only Armenian and McElroy there to pressure them, and they still struggled to bring the ball out of their own half. Kalafatidis, lovely touch. This time a chance here for Piemonte. He scored in that game where Northcote won against the Melbourne Knights away a fortnight ago in round 4 of this competition. And this time a late touch on D'Agostino. Northcote through, okay, looking for a late consolation. It's going to be difficult with a Dandenong wall and also Stuart Webster to navigate. Nearly copping a wicket deflection there off the boot of Kearney and also Mullet. Kalafatidis, look at the defence. They're lining up in numbers for the Thunder, giving Northcote nothing. Brand nearly winning the header, but in a rare time he's been outplayed in the air. Constantinides won it straight into the safe arms of Webster. And Dandenong well on track to collect 3 points and continue their undefeated run for 2012. Lovely touch. Jawadi needs some assistance. Maybe we'll do it solo. Not enough to beat Savio. Northcote need to take this quickly and try and hit the Thunder on the rebound, and doing just that, Constantinides, and the pass will let him down. Brand, that sums up his effort this afternoon. He's been stellar. In particular, he and Alvin have completely mopped up and cleared everything that's come their way from Northcote, wide down the corridor. And that man with the football, as a result, Stuart Webster, hasn't had much to do. He's tipped one over the bar in the first half where a goal loomed. And other than that, maybe only a save or two. But there you have it. Dandenong Thunder maintain their 100% record for 2012, where they've come from behind in this instance against Northcote City away and collected all 3 points to go 3 points clear on top of the Victorian Premier League table. And the game filled where Northcote scored the first goal at the 10th minute mark, courtesy of a James Kalafatidis penalty, but that was completely countered by the Thunder 15 minutes later, courtesy of a goal to Liam Kearney. And
the lead was doubled early in the second half where Nathaniel Bowen, who had his chances, finally converted one, and then it was Ross Thompson with the third from the penalty spot that gift the Thunder 3 points away and maintain their 100% record for the season. As for Northcote, they've got a difficult assignment next round. They'll be going away to Moreland, and although the Moreland Zebras have not won a game all season, they'll prove no easy beats at home. And as for the Thunder, well, they'll be back at home, and what a mouth-watering clash this is going to be next week. The Dandenong Thunder up against the Bentley Greens. It's 1 versus 2, and you'll be able to catch that game next Sunday from George Andrews Reserve, kicking off at 3 p.m. next Sunday, the 13th of May, Australian Eastern Standard Time. But as for us, the Victorian Premier League will be coming to you online next Sunday too, on Mother's Day, and what a game. Traditional rivals, the Melbourne Knights up against Heidelberg United, and it's already looming as a relegation battle early on in the season where both of these teams need 3 points to get their season back on track. That's where we'll be coming to you next week, live from round 6 at Dummer Street from 3 p.m. onwards. But from here at John Cain Memorial Reserve, the Dandenong Thunder, the visitors, triumphant over Northcote City by 3-1. From me, Simon McCuskey, we trust you've enjoyed the coverage, and it's good night, and we'll see you again next week.